What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of Sidelined. I'm Brooke Fletcher. That is Dani Kleppinger. I like to call her Dani K. That's what she'll be known for here on this show. But Dani K and I, man, we've been in the industry for what? 10 plus years now.
Long time.
I know it's crazy. And, but we really, started our friendship, obviously our love for sports, but I think we really bonded, Dani, when we started working together. We were talking about fashion, pop culture, beauty,
reality TV, you name it.
TV, right? And so I was like, dang, I really like this girl. And I know we're going to be friends for a really long time. And we've kind of thrown out the idea of making a podcast where you can talk both, right? You could talk sports, you can also be ourselves and talk pop culture. And so we knew that like we couldn't be the only people that are out there like this. We know that there's other women, girls, even guys that like to talk both, but especially when it comes to women and girls, like maybe feeling like you can't be part of the conversation. You like to talk sports, but you feel like you're sidelined. Hence our name here. You feel like you're not comfortable to have a seat at the table and to talk about it. So we kind of wanted to create like a safe space to come here, to kind of be yourself, have some fun, and talk a little bit of both.
Exactly. We want you to feel comfortable as soon as you get to the bar, as soon as you get to a date and you want to talk about the hot topics in sports. We'll break them down for you, what we think are the most exciting stories that are going on across the sports landscape, and then how they kind of bleed into pop culture. And then, of course, when Love is Blind comes back on, sure, we'll downplay all of the things that are going on with that as well. So we'll have fun guests eventually as well. So buckle up. Here's kind of an idea of what we've got going on for Sidelined. Hard to ignore what's been going on in the NBA with the NBA trade deadline approaching quickly. Yeah. Brooke, obviously the entire NBA world was absolutely stunned when the Mavericks decided to trade Luka Doncic to the Lakers. The Lakers, of course, getting Anthony Davis. There are other pieces that go into that mix and that trade as well, but let's just focus on the main enchilada, which was that Luka Doncic is a Laker and that Anthony Davis is now on the Mavericks. That blew everybody's mind. And just to give a little bit of background why that's so shocking, the NBA is like high school. No. The amount of gossip that goes on in the NBA is piping hot. The tea is great at all times. No one knew this was going to happen.
No.
That was wild.
Well, and Danny Ainge, the president of the Utah Jazz, because they're the third team that's in the mix, he didn't even know until 30 minutes before, which I think is insane. How do you not know you have two of arguably the biggest players in the NBA involved in the trade, also in the West too, teams that you're competing against there? That's crazy. Luka's agent didn't even know. They really wanted to keep this under wraps because, I mean, I guess for obvious reasons, if Luka caught wind, there might be repercussions there. What's so crazy about this, though, I mean, there's a lot of different aspects. There's the fact that, they didn't even go for the highest bidder. When you have Luka Doncic, who took you to an NBA final last year, it was just a one-way transaction. They didn't even shop him around. That was crazy to me. And I mean, Luka, I understand there's the concern with his weight, his workout, his lack of defense and stuff, because everybody says defense wins championships. But this is the face of the franchise. He brought the Mavericks back. Again, led them to the NBA finals last season. You thought that Luka was going to be there for years. He was going to sign that max deal. He just bought a $15 million house just last week. I think it was Chandler.
It was so funny to watch his press conference, his introductory press conference with the Lakers. He looks confused. He's on the ride.
Fever dream.
Looking around I'm happy to be here. The ocean's outside. That sounds pretty cool. I've always wanted a Laker sounds cool. Not a lot of people can say they're going to be a Laker, but his eyes look completely glazed over. He's unsure what is happening. And apparently this whole deal started at a coffee shop. They just went to get coffee and for a month kept it under wraps. The fact that you've got a great point. He's one of the biggest stars across the entire NBA, and they only shopped him to one team. I don't know if the Mavericks really, if they were the smart ones here. Right now, it looks like it's the Lakers that really won off with this deal. I think the Mavs can be better right away with Anthony Davis there, but I think long-term, getting rid of your star. Brooke, did you see they held a mock funeral for him outside of the
No
Airline Center?
They're in disarray down there in Dallas. I was actually Abby Jones, who we used to, or I used to work with her in Detroit, and I think you know Abby Jones as well. She works down there, and she was talking about how they're actually offering refunds to the fans for their tickets, because I mean that was your face of your franchise. And she just told me, like, everybody is so confused, even in the media, like nobody saw this coming, and they're all just trying to cope with it. And I guess they're hosting funerals. Like
it's also crazy. The other part of all this, because okay, us being females, we understand, right? Especially on a visual medium.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, oh, what does she look like? Her hair's so messy. She's ugly. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Is she pregnant? You know, everybody always has like their opinion on your looks and everything like that. But the same sort of deal happens to Luka Doncic in this scenario.
Yeah.
He does look out of shape a lot of times. It's actually been a little bit of like an issue for Dallas. They've actually fired multiple people on their staff in their health and conditioning department, to the point where Luka was like, they're firing everybody I like, but they're basically doing that to try and find people that can mold him into someone that they think looks like your basketball player. Yes, is he tired out sometimes? He has injury issues. But it's kind of crazy when you think about that. That could be a conversation. If that was a female, that'd be I don't think that would go over as well.
Like, excuse me, what did you say about my weight and my body? Thanks. No, but I mean, especially when you're trying to like look back and see if there were signs, right? And like reading between the lines. Remember that clip last year? I forgot. It was in the postseason, but Luka was having a celebratory beer after, and the beer was taken away, right? Like, and so you're like, man, just let him enjoy the win.
Just let him live, okay?
But there had to have been signs. There's something that we're missing, because again, you don't make this trade unless there was like no other direction, no other choice that you had. Because Nico Harrison, like, he understands that. He put his neck out. Like, you just dropped a bomb on this franchise. If it doesn't pan out, this is on you.
Yeah, that's a huge bomb. And I do want to just, as a former basketball player, I played in Division I, I understand you have to be in shape. That's not lost on me. So the criticism of Luka Doncic and his athletic conditioning level, the way that his health, the way that he's eating, whatever it is that is an issue, I do understand why that's talked about. I'm just saying, I just think it's kind of funny that, like, I don't think we really remember that guys also are under criticism with that stuff as well. It's obviously a super hot topic for women, but guys also, in certain aspects, like, you're obviously not going to go to a business job and someone's going to walk in and be like, to finalize this deal, you must lose weight. Obviously that's not happening, but in the sports world, much more prevalent. But I do think it's interesting that it's a part of this whole conversation.
I mean, I think you bring up a good point. Like, you played college ball, and so you understand like the conditioning and what it goes into playing at that caliber, right? At that level. And so with Luka, like, I'm so curious if you were in his position, you're traded, you're blindsided, essentially, like the motivation that you're going to have. And now you're playing alongside LeBron,
right,
on the Lakers. Like, I mean, we're going to see a completely different Luka, right?
Yeah, that's the part that's, I guess, hidden in all this conversation as well, is how is he going to play well with LeBron James? I imagine it would be fine. I also think you start to play with the best player of all time. I mean, you have to remember, Luka Doncic is like 25 years old, and now he gets to play with LeBron James. Yes, I do think that there's going to be a bit of a motivating factor in his belly that's probably going to then answer the call of at least some of the question marks that Dallas Mavericks had when they sent him that way. I think it's kind of like, who doesn't want to prove people wrong? Yeah. And I don't know how else to do that other than show up the best version of yourself in this new team, in this new area. I wonder if he'll just naturally be outside more just because it's so sunny in California all the time. So,
well, you know a thing or two about that, Dani.
Kind of crazy, Brooke. It's actually raining today, but yes, in Newport Beach, California, that is very rare. But it's not only the Lakers and the Mavs that have made big trades. Chicago, where you're at right now, the Bulls are completely unloading their roster. Zach LaVine, who had been with the Bulls for nearly 8 years, no longer a Bull. And it seems like, Brooke, that they're just going to keep unloading their roster.
Yeah, I mean, we knew this was going to come, right? I mean, Zach LaVine was playing at an all-star level, and the fact that him and Vooch, they weren't all-stars is crazy, and that's another discussion. But we knew it was going to come. He's reunited in Sacramento with DeMar DeRozan, so we all wish him the best of luck. But yeah, it's not going to stop there because I think a lot of they were kind of like somewhat competitive, but they weren't. And we were all wondering, okay, are they going to try to make a push or are they just going to, go for a rebuild? Which direction are they going to go in? And obviously that direction is clear. So, the trade deadline is quickly approaching. And so we're expecting, talking to insiders, like they're expecting for them to just sell. So Vooch, obviously he's been involved in a bunch of different rumors with the Warriors, the Lakers. I don't know if that's pretty fluid. But now I don't know with the Warriors, with KD and Jimmy Butler in the mix, we don't know. And what's going to happen there. If we're going to be able to move Vooch, Lonzo Ball, everybody is pretty much like up for grabs except Modest Buzelis, who actually had a really great game versus the Heat. But yeah, it's a little depressing if you're a Chicago Bulls fan right now, because it's like, man, when are we going to get over that hump? And it just is not going to happen in the near future.
And that's a frustrating thing. Like if you're a fan and you're going to games, like you want immediate results, right? So it's kind of hard to sit back and be like, look, this will eventually come to fruition. Right now, they've got too many guards. It's just an absolute logjam of guards on this team. Vooch, you mentioned to the Lakers. I like that a lot because now with Luka and LeBron, they need a center. If they don't have Anthony Davis, that would be a nice little veteran addition there. 14 years in the league, 34 years old. I mean, he won't be there forever, but I mean, at least it would be a nice little boost. But yeah, it's tough for the Bulls. You had Patrick Williams, their 4th overall pick, thought that this was going to be a very exciting player for the Bulls, and you keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and he's just not producing like he should. Even when players are out, like when Kobe White was out with a bruised ankle, they needed Williams to do more, and I think he shot 1 for 9 that game. That first game, missed all 4 of his 3-point shots. Yes, he's trying to get to the rim more, but he's missing like chippies. He's missing dunks. So coach has given him a little bit of praise. He's doing things out of his comfort zone, which is why those things aren't falling. But I think the writing's on the wall for the Chicago Bulls. It is time to rebuild, and cross your fingers, Bulls fans. This has to come to fruition in a couple of years.
I mean, it has to. I mean, and they have that protected top 10 pick. And so obviously looking at this draft, there's a lot of studs in this draft. And so there's some excitement there, but you're wanting like an immediate return, right? And when it comes to the draft, Dani, like covering basketball, it's going to take some time. And there's, again, a promise from, you're seeing it from Montes, but it's just like, why? Like this team was it was constructed to be such a good team. You had DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine on the same team at one point, Vooch, and injuries. It's just like they couldn't get past it. And it sucks just to be a Bulls fan right now.
It does. But I'm going to give a little icing, or something exciting for Bulls fans to think of. They now put themselves in a much better position for the future. They can get a franchise-changing player in this year's draft. They created some salary cap flexibility as well. So, yes, Bulls fans, it's not going to be exciting yet, but hang on. I think
optimism.
Yeah, exactly. Brooke, it's a very big week. I don't know if you know what's happening on Sunday, but pretty big deal.
I think it's a thing called the Super Bowl.
Correct. That big old game is coming. It's the best time of the year. Is it not? It should be a holiday, first of all.
No, it should. And then we need to give everybody a pass on Monday and just create that as a holiday, because people are, they're hungover or whatever. They don't need to go to work. Right. Yeah. But that's besides the point. Yes, this is going to be a rematch from just a few years ago. I'm excited. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they have an opportunity to go for a three-peat, and, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley getting his opportunity to take home a Super Bowl. But, we gave ourselves an opportunity, 3 reasons to root for in each team. So, okay. So why don't you go first?
Sometimes it's tough, right? You're like, well, I'm not from either of these cities. Who am I cheering for? Right. So I thought it'd be fun if Brooke and I gave 3 reasons per team as to why we think you should cheer for them. So do you want to start with the Eagles or the Chiefs?
Let's start with the Chiefs.
Okay, let's start with the Chiefs. Well, you already mentioned it. One of my first bullet points is the fact that they could three-peat. 3 Super Bowl victories in 5 years. They've already obviously achieved like this crazy dynasty status. but 3 in a row would be unbelievable. So I think that being able to watch history unfold is definitely bullet point A. The second one would be Patrick Mahomes, because he's just 29 years old. He's playing in his 5th Super Bowl, trying to win his 4th title. And who's calling the game? Tom Brady. So I don't know why I think that that's so like interesting, because obviously Tom Brady like is the GOAT, but
and there's everybody's wondering, like, is this going to be, if they get the 3-peat, will you be able to put Patrick Mahomes in the GOAT conversation? Because, you know, everybody's talking about Tom Brady is the GOAT, but like Patrick needs to get over this hump in order to be considered the GOAT. Like there's that argument like, oh, you can't put him in that, you know, you can't call him that yet. And so will this be the game if he gets this win? Can he be called the GOAT?
I think he is 100% in that conversation if he wins this, because, okay, he's 29. That's not even 30. Brady didn't win his 4th Super Bowl until he was 37 years old. That's an 8-year difference. I saw this comparison, and I wish I could tell you who said it, because I should give them credit, but they actually compared it to like a Michael Jordan status, because Michael Jordan won his 4th NBA title at age 32. And so he was a little bit closer in age to Patrick Mahomes. I know everybody's going to freak out, like, oh, but Michael Jordan's GOAT. So I'm giving kudos where kudos are due. I'm just saying that Patrick Mahomes, what he's been able to do at such a young age is wild. He's 17-3 in the playoffs.
It's crazy. And just his clutch genes. Is what's so impressive. It's like anytime you count the Chiefs out, just down the stretch in the final drive or the final 2 minutes, whatever, they find some sort of way to come back. And that's how you build, you know, championship caliber teams. That's what they're made of. And so, and you saw the same thing with Tom Brady and the Patriots when they had that dynasty. So yeah, they've been fun to watch, but I'll let you get to your third one.
Okay, my third one, you're going to laugh at me. Travis Kelce, obviously, anytime he does well means that we're going to see Taylor Swift's box, okay? And I'm excited about that, because if you were watching last game, he only had a couple catches. So you're like, dang, you're not going to see him a lot. Well, I want you to know, Swifties, that he has had 31 catches in 4 previous Super Bowls. So Patrick Mahomes knows to go to his veteran tight end all the time in the big game. So I think that that's a very exciting reason to cheer for the Chiefs, because everybody wants to know what she's wearing, who's going to be in her box, you know, all of that fun stuff.
Well, yeah. And the more you show Taylor, the more the numbers are going to go up. People are going to tune in. So the networks, they're probably like, put a freaking camera on Taylor Swift. We're going to her as much as we can. Your list is actually very similar to mine, because but listen, these are the obvious storylines. I think the only thing that differs, obviously the 3P, I think everybody needs an enemy in a league. And, you know, the Patriots, everybody love to hate them. And I think we're starting to get on that same page when it comes to the Chiefs. Everybody's just annoyed with them. We're like, oh, we see Travis Kelce everywhere, Pat Mahomes, the Chiefs, they always win, blah, blah, blah. The refs, are they rigging the games for the Chiefs? It's just those conversations, they're starting to come about. And I think, you know, if they win, I think they're just solidifying themselves as just the ultimate enemy in the NFL. Everybody hates the Chiefs, and you got to have one. I
love that reason. That's not something that would have crossed my mind, but you're kind of right, because my gut instinct in last weekend's games where I wanted them to lose, which seems so strange. I don't know why. I like to watch greatness, but it was just because you're right. You're starting to get used to seeing them there, but there is something that you can appreciate with greatness, and appreciating the fact that they've become this powerhouse that now everybody's like, do we even want them to keep winning? I want to see something different. But you're right, creating an enemy. Wow, what a good bullet point. Love it.
Love that one. And my last one is Taylor Swift related, even though I'm speculating that she might already have it, but Taylor Swift gets her own ring after the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce declares his love, or he proposes, or finds some sort of way, like there's some sort of tie-in between these guys. I think she's going to get proposed to at the Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, Brooke, I just attended your wedding a couple weeks ago, and I got chills. And I don't know if I've gotten chills since the moment I saw you walk down the aisle. And I just got chills again thinking about Taylor Swift getting proposed to, with the fact that he may even retire after this game. I feel like if they win, maybe that will come. So if he's retired, he proposes. That's funny you mentioned that, because I actually was thinking that maybe Taylor Swift would find her way into the halftime performance. I know we were all hoping that happened last year, and it didn't happen
with Kendrick.
Yeah, don't you think that'd be cool?
That would be a collaboration I was not expecting. I'm trying to think of what songs they would collab
It
on,
would be
but I
so
would love it.
random. That's why I think it'd be funny.
That
Because
it
it just
just
doesn't
might
make
work.
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make sense. It's like Kendrick can go on there with his diss track for Drake, and then Taylor Swift can go on with a diss track for Kanye, like a Reputation era.
Oh,
And
I
then it
love
could be
this.
like a sassy halftime show.
Seriously, I need a Taylor Swift Super Bowl performance. I think we're due.
I think it'll have to be once Travis is done playing.
You think? I know she doesn't need the money. I get it. But like, Taylor, you're one for your fans, right?
No, get
You
this,
wanna-
Brooke. They don't pay the Super Bowl
I
halftime
know.
performers.
I
I
know.
thought they paid them.
No, they don't pay them. It's but think about the amount of money and the amount of return, like
That
with
comes
all the
back.
eyeballs that you're getting on you, right?
Yeah.
But it just makes sense because you're coming off the biggest tour of all time. You already know the performance, you already know, like everything is already in place. Just one last performance.
Right.
Just give everybody what we want.
I'm with you. I'm not arguing. I was really sad. I feel like every year, well, the last 2 years, I guess, since she's been in the conversation, we're kind of crossing our fingers because wouldn't that be electric to have her boyfriend playing in the Super Bowl and then have her come at halftime? Like that would be just
It'd be cute. It'd be
super cute. Oh, I love it.
All right, let's get to the Eagles. What do you got?
All right. Do you want to go first this time or do you want me to do it?
I'll go first. Okay. So I mentioned Saquon off the top when we first started talking about it, but I would love for him to get a Super Bowl just with everything that he has gone through. I just have so much respect for him. He's just reputation is clean. Like he's a stud. But I just think everything he went through with the Giants and how I felt like they didn't treat him well. Going to the Eagles, I would just like to see him have success. He's putting up career numbers this year. He's behind one of the best offensive line, if not the best offensive line in the NFL right now. And so I just think he's going to have a really great game. And so I want to see him have a ring on his finger. I would love talking about the enemy. I would love to see a team finally take down
the enemy.
to take them down, because we don't have any skin in this game. So I'm just kind of like, I'm here for the storylines, Dani. So like, yeah, I would like the Chiefs to win for the enemy, but I would also like to see somebody take down the enemy. And so if it's the Eagles, wouldn't that be rich? Just for them to kind of get the revenge there and finally beat Pat Mahomes. And then I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan. Yeah, I'm an Auburn fan.
This is one of my bullet points.
I love Jalen Hurts. I just think, talk about a good guy, a guy you want to root for, a guy you want to build a franchise around. Like, the good guys need to win. Like, just give him, he needs a ring. And so I love seeing him and his fiance. Is it fiance?
Yes. I do believe he proposed during the bye week or something like that.
Yeah. And again, just very quiet, under the radar, not flashy. Handsome. Even though he went to Alabama and I went to Auburn, but that's okay.
Yeah, and also go Vols. This is where Brooke and I are certainly going to just Tennessee fan and an Auburn fan. But one thing we do agree on is we hate Bama.
Yes.
So, but Jalen Hurts can be an exception when it comes to the Super Bowl. I love that bullet point. I also have him as one of my bullet points.
Love it.
Also because of the fact that he has an all-female team. So if you wanted a reason to cheer for Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Eagles, he's at least the only player that I'm aware of, because I feel like we would find out about this a little bit more, who's got an all-female team behind him. His managerial team, his PR team, his marketing team, his agent is Nicole Lynn, who
stud. I follow her on Instagram.
I know, she's so good. Apparently that's how that relationship started. She DM'd him and said, "Do you have an agent yet? I'd love to meet." And now she has made unbelievable progress, not only with him. She's a huge agent in the space, obviously made a historical deal with him. So the fact that he is giving love to the females, I saw a quote. It said something he said something along the lines of men and women both work equally as hard. And all you hear about are the accolades of the men. And he wanted to give an opportunity for the women to get the recognition that they deserve as well. And we love that on Sidelined.
No, that deserves a little applause there for our guy, Jalen Hurts.
I love it. Did you go through all three of yours? You did, right?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's funny because I got a little confused because two of yours are two of mine. Saquon Barkley is also
on the same page.
Yeah, totally on the same page here. Saquon Barkley, the running back for the Eagles. Brooke nailed it. He's been through so much. And the fact that he has this chance to get a Super Bowl ring is very exciting because he's somebody that I do believe you'd want to cheer for. And talk about the cuteness factor. Apparently, a couple months ago, he also proposed to his long-term girlfriend, Anna Cogden. They have 2 kids together. They're so precious. They've been together for so long.
Did you see, I think his baby like celebrating? Stop.
I can't. I mean, if you can find that clip.
I can't. Put it in a picture frame it, put it in the Louvre. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So cute. And it's possible because like, okay, when you think back to when the Eagles were in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs a couple years ago, it was like Jalen Hurts had to do it all from a running back perspective, you know, even though he's the quarterback, right? And now Saquon Barkley is going to be able to alleviate some of that stress that has to go on Jalen Hurts. And I just think the fact that he's having such a historic year right now is very exciting for Saquon Barkley. So I'm with you on
How can you not root for him, you know?
You just got it. Okay, this next one, my third and final bullet point in favor of the Eagles, the tush push. And if you guys don't know what a tush push is, I'm going to do my best to try to explain it to you without
Please do, Dani.
Show you, considering this is mostly an audio platform. Okay, so basically the tush push is a play that has been uber successful for the Eagles. Now, they're not the only team that does the tush push. They're just the only team that has absolutely perfected it. The Bills get a little asterisk of approval because they also do well, but you need a strong quarterback, a quarterback that's a runner like a Jalen Hurts. And basically what happens is they need about a yard to get into, usually for the Eagles, it's to get into the end zone, but to get that extra yard, to get a first down, 1 yard to go, the entire offensive line basically, once the ball is snapped, puts their head down and just drives their legs into the ground and pushes the defensive line over. Now, here's the other key part of all of this. The tush part, right? The tush push. The tush push is coming on the quarterback. So basically, the fullbacks are running behind Jalen Hurts and they're pushing his butt into the end zone or over that 1 yard line to get a first down. And it's fascinating stuff. Some people argue that it shouldn't be illegal because it's too hard to guard.
It could be dangerous too.
And
if it's not executed.
That's the other part
very
of it.
Dangerous.
Yes, it's a very dangerous thing. Think about all these men going full speed right at one another, pushing, necks are involved, all that type of stuff. I saw this one guy talk about it because very clearly I did not play football. That's not.
You didn't?
Yes. I know that's so weird. Playing football in high school? No. They like, apparently the guy that's going to push the quarterback, so usually a fullback in this scenario, or it's a timing thing, because think about how much money that quarterback's worth. So much money. So if you're going to go and like push him over, you better not hurt him. Your timing better be good.
That's the face of the franchise.
Literal face of the franchise.
But you mentioned the quarterback. You have to have a certain type of quarterback in order to pull this off. Because, you know, Jalen, he's stocked, like he's built like a quarterback that can pull it off. He can use his legs. He's very physical. Physicality is like part of his game. So he's like the perfect quarterback to pull it off. And same with Josh Allen. You mentioned the Bills do that. He's like that as well.
Exactly. So what I'm hoping for is a super, super close game. If you're rooting for the Eagles, super close game. They're on the 1 yard line and they do the tush push to win the Super Bowl.
I love it. I'm so excited. And then we also got Kendrick Lamar at halftime. We got the commercials. Like, I hope the commercials are good this year, by the way.
Let's break down the bigger parts of the Super Bowl, right? The other reasons that people tune in other than the game. Start with Kendrick Lamar, because I am curious. Were you excited? Were you not excited when he was first announced that he
don't come after me, because if you're like a Kendrick Lamar stan, because I like Kendrick Lamar. But when I think of like a Super Bowl performer, I'm thinking of like someone, well, first off, that like they always think about somebody that can cover a lot of different generations, right? Like the boomers, the Gen Zers, the whatever. Like Kendrick is very popular with, I feel like, our age and younger. I don't know how the older people are going to respond if they know his music. And so that was one thing. I also don't know like that many of his songs. I'm sorry.
No,
I've been listening to his music, but like, I know, not like us, like I've been jamming to that all year long, and he just won all these Grammys for it. I would like to see some like collaborations. I hope, like you mentioned, I hope some people come out, and he's a performer, no doubt. and he's going to put on a great performance. But I was a little shocked. What do you think?
I am also a Kendrick Lamar fan. I actually got to interview him once when I worked for the Rams, and he was very cool.
Okay.
This was like before Kendrick Lamar was Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
He was cool at the time, but not like performing at the halftime of the Super Bowl cool. But I think obviously that beef with Drake and him made him skyrocket in popularity, especially this year, to be able to get that nod for the halftime show. But I'm with you. I don't really know if that music necessarily, or his particular sound, not necessarily rap music, because I got to tell you, when that 50 Cent halftime performance situation with Eminem and they were all coming out, and that was so much fun. Like, it was
so much fun.
Who was in that?
It was Dre, 50 Cent,
it was so fun.
Eminem
was there, right? I didn't want to think that I just made that.
Yeah, Snoop was there.
Snoop.
There was a woman. I'm forgetting the woman though.
Mary J. Blige, was she on there?
Oh yeah, Mary J. Blige.
Alicia Keys. She performed. Anyways, my point being, it has nothing to do with the genre of music. It's more of just like, it's a very like beat type focused. I don't know if my parents are gonna like it. You know?
Oh yeah, Kendrick was also in that performance too.
I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think that he's going to have to do some collaborations, but it does look like SZA is confirmed to. SZA. I love her. So
in concert, it was unreal.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I feel like if he gets some people with him, don't be shy. Don't make it all about you. Like, add some additional acts around you. And I do think that he can knock it out of the park, but I would be lying to you if I said that I was thrilled when that was announced.
I've been studying. Okay, people. I've been listening to his.
I've been studying too. That's so
studying.
Funny.
I sound like such a loser.
Okay, wait. The Super Bowl commercials, something I do want to ask. Do you watch the Super Bowl at a bar or do you watch it on your couch?
Okay, so I'm not opposed to watching it at a bar, but I like to watch the commercials. And so we're going to some like Super Bowl parties and stuff. And so I'm trying to debate, like, am I going to be that person that's like, doesn't want to be social? And like, I'm trying to pay attention. So I am kind of conflicted right now. I would prefer to watch it on the comfort of my couch. What about you?
Brooke knows me. I am a camaraderie coordinator. I love people around me at all times. But for some reason with the Super Bowl, I'd be totally fine if I was by myself or just chilling on the couch listening and being able to take it all in. Because when you're at a bar, when you're at a party, you're not hearing it all. You're definitely missing things. You're missing the commentary. You're missing a play here and there. You're probably missing multiple commercials because everybody thinks, oh, went to commercial, let's all talk. Forgetting that that's also kind of part of the whole scenario. It's like 4.5 hours of must be locked in. All that being said, I'm definitely going to a bar. We need some high noons in this mix.
Okay? With all that being said, I'm gonna go to a bar.
Yeah, with all that being said, I appreciate those of you.
You're a social butterfly. You like to be around people, be in the scene. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't blame you. And here's the thing: you could just go for the first half. You could go to the bar, and then if you want to go home, that's what's great. You could just go home at half. Well, you have to watch halftime. What are you even saying?
And then the other thing that's difficult is once you start getting the drinks going and you're eating the food and you get in the conversation, it's hard to leave.
Yes. You got to have good food. That's all I honestly care about. Yeah, the game and the, halftime performance, but you got to have a good spread. Okay, if there's not a good spread.
What's your go-to then?
Oh gosh. Honestly, anything. Pizza, sliders, wings. You got to have some good wings. Some chips and dip.
I'm like a boneless wings girl, and everybody's going to come at me and be like, that's not real wings. And that's fine. You know,
is a boneless wing really just a nugget?
Correct. I like chicken tenders and buffalo sauce. The chicken on a bone thing is just not for me. I don't partake, but I know that people are very, very, very big fans.
It's not cute when I eat a chicken wing.
Do you like
that for sure?
Or
I get the flat. Well, no, but I also like the wing too. I don't know.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I'm married now. So like he loves me regardless. So if I'm ugly eating the chicken wing, I don't even care. If I got sauce on my face, I don't care. I don't even care.
You know what? I do think that this is really fun because this is our first podcast and people may not understand how exciting this is. Brooke just got married. It's very, very, very exciting.
Like,
I'm going to embarrass her.
The honeymoon. Yes.
fresh off the honeymoon. So where'd you go? You're very tan. I'm very much not. And I live in California, so that you obviously went somewhere.
Well, part of it, I think it might still be my spray tan. Who knows? We went to St. Bart's. So we got married in Mexico. So we really would love to have gone to Europe, but it's it kind of reminds me of the French Riviera. So we went there, good wine, good food. You got the beach, you got some shopping. It was kind of like the best of everything. So we had a great time, but we were both kind of itching because we both just go and we love our routine. We were itching to get back, just to kind of get back in the swing of things, but we had so much fun.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, congratulations. You're
Thank
glowing.
you. Oh, thank you.
Breathtaking at your wedding, and your wedding was so much fun. As a guest, I can tell you that, okay, you know what, girls, settle in. Let me just tell you. This wedding was featured in People magazine because it was so fabulous. Yes, of course, Brooke and her husband, Jake, are obviously famous, obviously. No, I'm sorry. It's just so much Jake is a baseball player. Brooke, obviously a tremendous sports reporter, but also former Miss Georgia. So they're featured in People magazine. This hotel that we stayed at, I'm telling you, it felt like we were in a movie. From the moment I walked in, I gasped. I'm not sure I regained my breath until I left. Absolutely stunning. They had so many different events for their guests to be able to go to. It was very relaxing, a full vacation, yet so much fun. You danced the entire night at your wedding. And
I couldn't feel my feet the next day.
And it was crazy because I don't understand who was covering sports in that amount of time, because the amount of sports reporters that were there, I don't know how any breaking news was covered. Like, thank goodness this Luka Doncic thing did not happen during the week of your wedding.
Oh my gosh. No. And that was the main thing I wanted. Like, I wanted it to feel like a vacation, but most importantly, just like having our loved ones and our friends, just like everybody just being there. It meant so much. And, it makes me happy that you had a good time and that everybody had a great time. So, but I am glad that I don't have to wedding plan ever again.
Yeah. No kidding. I understand. I'm sure a lot went into that, but it was so beautiful, and you look
thanks, Dani.
Absolutely amazing. And we're so excited to hear more about you and Jake as baseball season comes along, because I'm sure he's headed off to
spring training in a week. This is our last week together. Yeah. So we're trying to savor every moment, and we cooked last night. We got, everybody's been so generous with the gifts, and we're super appreciative. And so we have new pots and pans. And so we want to give them, give them a test run. So that's been fun, and just kind of breaking those bad boys in. But yeah, it's our last week together. So we're just kind of savoring it. And then he goes off for the season, and then I'm like, bye, I'll see you in 6 months. So
well, see, that's going to be really interesting as we continue to do this Sidelined podcast, is everybody's going to get to peel back the layers of, us being sports reporters. And certainly I'm headed on the road here soon for all of my travel,
which I can't wait to live vicariously
really
through
fun.
you. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We will not always be sitting here in Newport Beach, California, doing this podcast. We'll be all over Europe, covering tennis, which will be really fun starting in March.
Can I just say, the tennis tee, everybody who's not familiar with the world of tennis, is piping hot. I love tennis. Piping hot.
Yeah, so that will be fun. But I'm saying it's also really great to see what Brooke's doing working wise, and then just being a wife of a professional athlete, and what goes in on that side of it all, because I do think that that's a perspective that we don't get to see all that often. So we'll have some other guests come on eventually. People, we're very excited about it. We're excited to have athletes on, excited to have some WAGs on, excited to have some other reporters on. But hopefully you settle in and join us on this little sideline journey, so that you can feel very cozy and comfortable in any sports conversation. You're going to hold your own.
Yes, we got a little guest.
Benny has now decided to join us. He was feeling left out.
Wait, perfect timing. As we're wrapping up, he's like, wait a second, I need to get in on the action.
Literally. Oh my gosh.
So cute. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're so excited. First episode done, many more to come. Have a great week. We will see you next week.